Born on the trade-wind seas, Percival had only set foot on land of distant shores at docks when the galley went to port. Even then, he rarely needed to stand on actual ground and had no explicit want of it. That was until one stop at Constantinople turned what should have been an ordinary delivery into a delightful breeze in the sail of the Ghibellines. All because young Percival happened to have a sweet tooth that day. He had this way of wandering off while parsing samplets each and every day, a habit that one day would lead him to weaving a terribly powerful spell among the Genoese. For now, his way of disappearing on a whim and returning in some confusing way was pure curiosity. It was the same way he wrote his poetry. It was through that method he carried himself which led to everything he ever was. His life ran and left stylized footprints trailing whatever he happened to get himself into. This time, Percival found himself walking down the waterlogged docks as hundreds of company men toiled, lugging carefully packaged goods away from their ship of the sea to the business on the right. It was how the Doria made their fortune. Only now it could be seen by the ordinary lives of Constantinople as they moored, though the more interesting parts of their future could only be seen by the world if they were willing. And right now, the boy only minded sweets as he eyed the signs hanging in the air, each symbol blurring together among the crowd as he searched for pastries. At last, he found the place, a bakery which smelled the same as it did last year. It wasn't the most prominent experience, and despite any attempt to remember, couldn't point to the item he wanted to retry. Percival would occasionally be reminded of the taste of whatever he was given, often not when eating, but through shared experiences with his friends. Then it would be forgotten as life went on, except now as he had the chance to figure out what the distinction was. Then, as he was about to choose by instinct alone, he was greeted by the daughter of the layered leopard, a tall, bright-eyed girl without adornment on her dress. It was clear this was her only outfit, but she wore it all the same. Somehow, filled it with a sort of confident undertone that no word could betray, not against the kiln's tempered fire. Despite her being so absolutely common, her name was not one Percival would forget. Even if he could not find her in a crowd, as her cover was indistinguishable from any other, until their eyes met. When she said, "Welcome back. Don't you like this?" In hand was a donut without the hole. It was a different suggestion to what he had before, and when he ate it, he was more surprised to find himself amused by the accuracy of the exchange. How she knew what he expected wasn't supposed to be known. Still, he asked with crumbs on his face. She laughed but didn't say, claimed not to know how he'd taste the gift, but knew it would be complex. He didn't understand how it could be like this. Frustrated, he bought the shelf in an attempt at having everything, so he could finally fill the hollow place between his stomach and mind. Every good remaining that they had prepared that day was purchased by Percival. The poor souls arriving didn't complain. Not against the Golden family. Everyone knew the crest on his chest. They respected them, feared their prowess, and cowered under their reign. No one would dare say anything out of the ordinary to the young son of Doria. They could not, and so against their own starving bellies they stayed their working hands, resigning to wrest away their hunger and fear of death. They would rather lament than be defenseless to punishment. All of them had seen what they were willing to do against the Guelphs. Even the baker's girl heard the tales from troubadours. Way between anxiety and some form of opposition that formed from the upfront disregard of her kindred spirit. Her wrath shocked Percival. The source of this flavor came from her, baked into the goods her family sold. It was the inconsideration of her will that spurred her fervor. By the time he got to this conclusion, she left without a word. He would then go on to write, "For the air and for the flower. For the fresh air and for the flower, and for the time that renews itself, I see every lover turn to joy, but I cannot find a way to escape the great desire that holds me tight. For a lady who gives me no hope, and keeps my heart in a trembling state, like a leaf caught in the wind, my lady, so noble and so fine, you have a heart of stone toward me. I serve you with a loyalty so pure that it should move even the cruelest soul. Yet the more I love, the more you turn away. It is a strange and heavy war I wage, to be killed by the beauty I worship, and to find my only life in that very death. I am like the man who gazes at the sun, who looks so long he loses all his sight. So I do look upon your golden face, until my senses fail, and leave me blind. But even in the dark my soul still sees the image of you painted on my mind. I ask for nothing but the right to serve, for even your silence is a gift to me."